Well, hi and howdy, folks. Welcome once again to the hospital. I hope everyone is doing well, and if you're not, I'm still open for business. I have a few minutes before I have to make my rounds, so here it is. If you folks are like me, well, there's a scary thought, isn't it? But if you like antique malls, antique shops, thrift stores, garage sales, friends at a library, book sales, or just any book sales, used books, then you probably have experienced the joy, the thrill of coming across something you've been looking for a long time, or thought, I'm never going to find one of those, and then it happens. Well, I want to talk to you tonight about one of my finds, this book right here, what it is, and even though it's a little out of my line time-wise, I decided to buy it anyway. It was an antique store many years ago, and in the back there was a wall with a few cabinets and some books, and I'm always on the lookout for books for my programs, particularly if I can use them as primary resources. So I'm looking across the shelves and I come across this one here, and I thought, well, that looks interesting. I can see the word medical on the spine. I'll look into it and see what it is. The first thing I always do is go to the page where the publication date is to see, is this before my period or after my period? And in this case, it was 1887. Well, that's after John Lister, makes his findings public. We've discussed Lister before. He's the one who made washing your hands before you go into surgery sort of a eventually common practice. So I looked at the book, 1887. Okay, I will put it back and I won't place much stock in it. But I got to thinking, it can't hurt if I looked at the table of contents just to see maybe if there's something I can possibly use for pre-Lister medicine. So I did. Oh, this is just the way I found it on the shelf. It has seen much better days. Someone has tried to repair it with Scotch tape and did a really bad job. But getting back to the title of the book, Our Family Physician by H.R. Stout, M.D. A plain, practical, and reliable guide to the detection and treatment of all the diseases common to this country. And the title goes on for another 82 pages. If you ever come across Victorian literature, nonfiction, the title can be rather lengthy. But what I saw that made me think, maybe I might want to look at this a little further, particularly since the binding, the spine read allopathic, homeopathic, hydropathic, eclectic, and herbal. All of that's in here? Really? I finally purchased the book. It only cost $15, and I think it was a bargain at the time. I'd never seen a book like this before, and I've never seen one since. There might be one out there, but if there is, I've never seen it. What this book is a compilation of various theories regarding medicine, the homeopathic theory of medicine, the allopathic theory of medicine, and what you should do in case there's an ailment or a disease. It goes like this. If you are, let's say, a homeopath, and you want to know what to do for a given condition or disease, you look up the condition or disease in the book, and it'll say, if you're an allopath or hydropath or a homeopath, this is what you should do. But if you're a hydropath, this is what you should do. If you're an allopath, this is what you should do. Really? All right. Well, it's still 1880 something. How can I somehow make this useful for me in the pre-Lister period. It took a little while to figure it out, but all I have to do is just look at what the book says and then sort of, in a literary manner of speaking, reverse engineer it to something that's in my period and see, do they coincide? And in some cases they did, so I think I made a pretty good purchase. The book has not only this is what you should do for, it has this is what this disease or condition is, this is what causes it or what they thought caused it at the time, and this is what you should do about it. In spite of the fact that it covers hydropathy, whatever the pronunciation is, I'm a doctor, not an English major, there's not a lot of mention of the hydropathic way of doing things. There's also there's nothing at all about Thomsonianism. That's where the theory was, all diseases are caused by cold, all cures are caused by heat in various forms. None of that appears here. Probably because Thomsonianism, it just doesn't exist anymore. It's been proven to be largely invalid. I thought I'd go over a few of these just to share them with you. They're of interest to me. They might be of interest to you. Perhaps. And it's a rather thick book. It's got more than 500 pages in it. We're not going to go through all 500 pages. But this is probably going to be part one of a two-parter, just because of the number that I picked that might be of special interest. And we're going to go first to varicella, chickenpox. What's it say about chickenpox? This is a disease characterized by an eruption of numerous transparent vesicles or little bladders. Well, that's a nice way of putting it. At one time it was considered to be one variety of smallpox, but it has been proven that it is in no way related to it. It is contagious. Certainly have that right. And it goes on to explain various things, but the treatment, if you're an allopath, here's what you're supposed to do. And if you're wondering what is an allopath, they're also known as regulars. For the antebellum and pre-Lister period, from about 1835 or 40, there's no hard and fast date, to way past Lister, it's the normal way of doing things, according to us, the allopaths. What you should do if you're an allopath? Spare diet, cooling drinks, and the following: sulfate of magnesia, solution of acetate of ammonia, and distilled water. Mix, take. Sounds yummy, doesn't it? Well, if you're an eclectic, now an eclectic, the short way of putting it is, they don't subscribe to any one dogma, if you want to put it that way. They think, well, those folks, we like what they're doing on certain things and not other things, but these folks over here, say the allopaths, so what they do, that makes sense, but not over here. That's why they're called eclectic. They raid everybody's dogma. And in many instances in this book, the eclectics and the herbalists, I don't have to explain herbalism, are pretty much on the same page. No pun intended. But if you're an eclectic and herbal, here's what it says. About all that will be necessary is to give the patient freely of pennyroyal, sage, saffron, or catnip tea. If the bowels are confined, open them with a seidlitz powder, sponge the surface of the body with water, and confine him to the house. All right, that sounds pretty straightforward. Don't know how effectual it is, but it sounds straightforward. If you're a homeopath, for the fever and headache, give aconite and belladonna alternately. If there is aching of the bones and bilious symptoms, give rhubarb alternately. With what? For restlessness and nervous excitement, disturbed sleep, give coughing. When it comes to herbals, I'll admit my knowledge and awareness of them is pretty slim. So if I mention a possible herbal and you don't know what it is, you're not alone. I probably don't either. Okay, and there is no treatment for smallpox according to the hydropaths. But next, let's go to, this will be a fun one, hypochondria. Hypochondria, otherwise known as afflictions of the mind. This is a state of the mind caused by debility of the nervous system and which is generally associated with dyspepsia. It is known by several other names of low spirits, vapors, and the blues. So what are you supposed to do about this? Well, if you're a homeopath, you're supposed to administer nux vomica, sulfur, muriatic acid, and water. If you're an allopath, pulverized rhubarb, bicarbonate of potassium, and extract of nux vomica. Make into pills and then administer. Oh, I should probably say don't try any of this at home. You need specialized training to do any of this. And if you're not, well, I'm here. Eclectic and herbal. Again, eclectics and herbalists seem to be on the same side here. But the first thing you want to do is administer sulfate of quinine. Well, quinine does come from a tree bark and extract, so I guess you could qualify that as an herbal. Tartaric acid and the alcoholic extract of black collash. No clue. And there is nothing here for hydropaths on this problem, but we're going to go to strabismus. And if you've ever seen someone whose eyes, instead of going like this, one of them, maybe both, go like this, might call them cross-eyed. Strabismus is what its technical name is, and here we go. Strabismus. What you should do if you are a homeopath. Belladonna, an aluminum compound, digitalis, and camphor. Now exactly how this is supposed to work, it is not explained here. Nothing is explained in terms of how this works. If you're an allopath, strychnine, diluted phosphoric acid, and peppermint water to make the phosphoric acid taste good. Who knows? And who else do we have here? The herbalists and the eclectics, they don't chime in on this. But we have, next, atalgia, earache. And what do you do for an earache? Well, eclectic and herbal says, the following is a good remedy. We'll see about that. 3 or 4 garlics, mash them while they're hot, and with a tablespoon of each, combined with some sweet oil, that would be olive oil, honey and laudanum, press out the juice, and drop into the ear. If you're a homeopath, cinnamon, belladonna, sulfur, and this is a little surprising for a homeopath, mercury, what else? As if that wasn't enough. Nux vomica, in the ear, yes. And arsenic. If you're an allopath for your ear problem, citrate of iron, strychnine, syrup of orange peel, and water. Are you still with me there? What's next? A common cold. Just a common cold in the head. How bad could that be? We may find out. For a homeopath, arsenic, nux vomica, mercury, belladonna, sulfur, and silica. But if you're an allopath, now that was a homeopath. What does the allopath say? Sulfate of magnesia, nitrate of potash, extract of licorice, compound infusion of senna, and some jalap. Jalap is one plant I know. It's pretty much it's used as pretty much an industrial strength purgative, especially if you mix it with mercury. And eclectic and herbal, we have a balsam. Didn't say what it's made out of. But mix it together with the powdered extract of licorice, syrup of balsam, Peru, and powdered gum arabic. Do the hydropaths have anything? Oh. No. But we go to carcinos, or carcinos, not sure the pronunciation. Translation is cancer. I'm not even going to ask how bad this could possibly be. This is a malignant disease which attacks various organs of the human body, external or internal, and tends to the progressive invasion of the neighboring tissues. Eclectic and herbal, again, they seem to be paired up. Lard, beeswax, Scotch snuff, and verdigris. If you're wondering about verdigris, if you ever have some brass or copper, particularly copper, and it ages over time and has this greenish, for lack of a better word, gunk around it, that green gunk, that's verdigris. Homeopath. Arsenic. Anything other? Nope. Nothing. Next one. By any chance, any of you folks out there have Ep.40s? Freckles? Do you want to keep your freckles? Don't listen to the next part. Do you want to get rid of your freckles? You can listen to the next part, but don't do it. And for freckles, we have, for herbal and eclectic, honey, purified wax, and myrrh. And nobody else has commented on freckles. I think we're going to stop right there because I'm running out of time. I still have yet to make my nightly rounds. There are other, you can tell there are other things to consider. Remember I said somebody tried to repair the book with some Scotch tape and did a bad job of it? This now just becomes trash. Thank you for sticking around for this. Part 2 will cover other things such as pulmonalis, advice, dentition, and mania a patou. I hope I didn't butcher the French too badly. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you found this at least somewhat interesting, if not horrific. And I am going to go make my rounds and see if anybody needs my services, my expertise. And then I'm just going to turn into bed. Once again, I have the honor to remain your most humble and obedient servant, Dr. Toombs, coming to you from, as always, a long time ago. Take care of yourselves until we meet again. Who's first?